Okay, so in this game we're going to talk about chasing and evading. Okay, so let's imagine boron is the big yellow fly, and we are the small black background fly right here. So we're Zargon, and boron is top left. Okay, so let's think about the math involved in something that would be chasing us. Okay, by chasing, what I mean is wherever I am, the yellow fly, located right here, is going to look where I am and move towards me in the X direction, which is left and right, as well as in the up and down direction. If I'm way down here, the fly should go to the right and it should go down. Okay, and if I'm way up here, it should go right but up. And if I move my guy to the left, obviously, that guy should start moving left and up. And if I'm down here, he should go left and down. So if you think of the math involved, all you really have to deal with is the X and Y values of Zargon and the X and Y values of boron. Okay, and if you think about that, you can probably almost sense a little bit about how we're going to do this. If you compare the X's of each and compare the Y's of each, you can sort of see in your head where they are and what must be done in order to go towards something. So if you think about it right now, Zargon's X has to be bigger than boron's X because he's on the right-hand side of him on the screen. Right? X gets bigger as you go across the screen. So we know that Zargon X is probably like, maybe 300 now. Boron's X is probably like 100. Okay, so we can say that. We can handle it. We can say, hey, listen, if Zargon's X is ever larger than boron's X, then we want boron to move to the right. We want boron's X to move to the right. So plus some amount, right? So if Zargon X is ever larger than boron X, greater than boron X, then boron X is going to increase by some amount. So let's look at how that might look. Okay, so if we'll go into our code here, and let's look at that. So we could say, if we said Zargon X was ever larger, greater than boron X, if that ever happened, we wanted boron to move to the right. And we know that we can increase the value of boron by some amount, 3 or something like that. Okay, so let's see if that works. So if Zargon's X is ever larger than boron's X, which means he must be to the right of him, then at that point in time, boron's X will increase by 3. And it's going to do this continuously, so let's see if that actually works. Okay, all right, it is. He's going towards him, right? And if I go over this way, he's no longer, right? Because he's not greater than. And if I zoom back to the right, yeah, he's gonna, I'm briefly bigger, right? So you can see how that works. Okay, so let's think about that and how could we do this in all 4 directions. Okay, and so just see if this is what you were able to think that probably would need to be done for the other direction. If Zargon's X is ever less than boron's X, which means the Zargon would be on the left-hand side of boron, then I want boron to go to the left. Okay, so if Zargon is on the right of boron, boron goes right. If Zargon's on the left of boron, boron goes left. And that's called chasing, right? That's called, so you have one object chasing, and Zargon and boron are both moving continuously, but in addition to all that kind of stuff, I'm moving Zargon continuously, but it's doing movement as well as this other movement based on location. So we look at this right now. I'm gonna make the speed here a little bit slower so we can see something. Okay, so let's see how this looks on the screen now. Zargon should be moving. If he's on the right-hand side of me, he's always going to be moving to the right. And as soon as I go on the left-hand side, he's going to move to the left. All right, right-hand side. Okay, and that's because of that code right there. Left-hand side, Zargon X is less than boron's X, right? Boron X moves to the left by 1. Zargon X greater than boron X, which it is right now, then we know that boron X is going to move to the right by 1. All right, so that makes sense. You should be able to do the same thing in the Y direction. Don't forget, because the top left is 0, 0, Y gets smaller going up, right? So you're going to subtract going up, and Y gets bigger going down. Okay, and so see if you can figure out how to do that. Okay, so if you think about that, you should have very, very similar code for your x's and your y's. There's 4 situations you need to handle: x less than y, and x greater than y, and then x of Zargon less than boron x Zargon greater than boron x y Zargon less than boron y, and y Zargon greater than boron y. So hopefully you have something like this. All right, which is what we just talked about. Now, it's very likely you're going to get your pluses and your minuses confused. But if we look at how that's going to play out on the screen, we should see no matter where I am, and there I am, or where I go, he chases me. If I go up or down, if I go left, go, yeah, right, he just keeps chasing me. All right, and all he's doing is checking is simple algebra. Okay, in fact, if I just stand here, what's going to happen when he gets right there on top of me? He's going to stop because none of those ifs are true. They're all equal to each other right now. Right? So there is a collision right now, and so you could go watch the collision video and handle collisions right now. But there is how you do chasing. Okay, so good news for evading. It's the exact same thing, but we have to make one small change. Okay, instead of boron moving to the right, for example, when he is on the left of boron, wherever Zargon is, we want to look at the x and look at the y, and I want to go the opposite direction as opposed to towards him. So it's a pretty easy thing to do. Literally, the stuff we just did, if you flip all your minuses and pluses, instead of going towards him, he's going to go away from him. Right? Instead of going away from him, he's going to go towards him. All right? So this is going to show boron evading. Whoa, get back here, right? He's going away from him no matter where I am. Okay, so evading and chasing are the exact same thing, except your x's and y's are different, okay, because you're moving away from him versus towards him. So I think that should help you get going. Good luck.